In this section, we'll be wrapping everything that we learn about functional programming, and also we'll be extending our toolkit with very powerful concepts. We'll be looking at the strong type-level programming in Scala. Firstly, we'll be looking at the dependent types. We'll see what it is and how can we leverage it to create more generic and functional code. Then we'll be looking at the role of implicits in type-level programming. Third video will be about type classes. Then we'll go to the existential types, and finally we'll see how can we create generic code that works for a higher kind of types. This is the first video in which we'll be looking at the dependent types. So we'll be implementing the dependent type in Scala. We'll be write code using type keyword and we'll be testing our code. So let's go to the actual programming. So we will have a dependent types that does testing of dependent types. So firstly we will create a trie that is a dependent value, and inside of it there will be a type v that is a generic type, and the dependent value will carry only one value of the specific type v. Then we have a method that will be called magic that takes a dependent value and just returns v of that, and this will be a generic type that is parameterized and it will just extract the value from the type. Right now maybe it doesn't make sense for you, but let's take a look at the actual use case. So we are creating a make function that is just returning new dependent value and filling the x with a value. So this is our value that is inside of the dependent value. Then we will use a make1 and make2. So if you will make something from 1, it will infer the type from the integer here that is passed, and it will put that type to the type v. Then the value will be equal to that integer. So if you will open the type of this dependent type, you can see that it is a little bit complex. So we have the dependent value with object, because as you remember, everything in Scala needs to extend object. Then we have a value that is an int, and type v is equal to int. Then when we will pass a string to our method make, it will create a dependent type, but this time our type v will be equal to string. Once we have created both dependent types, we can pass them as a deep value to magic. Magic method is taking dependent int, and you can see that it will extract our 1 from the value, and it will be called it works, and magic dependent string, it will extract the 2 from value and it will be called again. We can just call it string and he will call it int, and we will print both of those. So if you will start the test, you can see that your magic method is working for different types. But this is one part of the story. You can see that we have 1 and 2 extracted. Second part of the story that is very important is that these dependent types gives us compile time safety. So if you will change that type, for example, to string, you will get the compiler error. You can see that magic knows that it should return the string even though it defines v that's of type v. So you can see that our code is type safe and generic. So we achieve our 2 goals.